Alright, what's up, guys? I had to check out this other video from Sunny V2. I was like, no, I'm curious about this one. So, this one is titled, How a Pro Gamer Successfully Faked His Death for the Dumbest Reason. I never understood the whole reason of, like, faking your death. Like, I guess, like, if you're, like, wanted by, you know, like the police, or like, so like by like if you're just overall wanted, I don't know by who, but you're just overall wanted and things, and I can understand like some stuff like that, or like, I'm trying to think, or even if that's like the role for your character in some movie that you're starring in. But like a real life situation, there's always those people that just do like some of the most wildest things for attention, and it's like, fam, stop it. Like, I don't think people sit down and take the time to realize it's like, you're surrounded in the like wrong group. All right, you're in the wrong group. If you want to not be in that group no more, get out of it. Find people that like you. Find people that are chilled with you. But if you have to do things like this for attention, fam, it's not gonna be good for you, because it's against the law. Like, you can't fake your death for any reason, even for the smartest reasons or for the dumbest reason. Like, I guess if your life is in danger and then you like figure out some sort of way, then okay, then that's one thing. But like, if not, then fam, like, if you're doing this for, let's just overall see what his reason is. But make sure you guys go subscribe to Sunny V2. I've just recently subscribed to them over the LMFAO video that they just did. And I don't know when that will be necessarily uploaded, either before or after this. Most likely before, but if you guys are just seeing this video, there is the other video that they did. So go watch it on their channel. It's like, you know, and then if you want to watch my reaction afterwards, you could very well do that. But watch it on their channel first. Show love, show support to them. Link to their channel will be in the description. And yeah, and that being said, let's check this video out.
On the 5th of July 2011, this account will be registered to the YouTube platform going by the name of Sketchek. The owner of this fresh new channel would go on to become a Team Fortress 2 professional, widely considered to be one of the best players in the game's 50-year history. So when he would sadly die unexpectedly only 4 years later in 2015, his audience and the entire Team Fortress 2 community were understandably devastated. Extensive tribute videos were posted to YouTube dedicated to Sketchek's incredible skill level. Users on Reddit would pour their hearts out in threads that discussed how Sketchek had influenced their playstyle, all while the developers of Team Fortress 2 would add a weapon attribute to the game in memory of Sketchek's life. It's safe to say no one expected that this whole thing might have been a hoax after it all began in June 2015, when Sketchek uploaded a video explaining that he had been going in and out of hospital whilst dealing with an unspecified long-term illness.
Hey, I'm the guy that runs this channel. Most of you probably know me as Sketchek. I'm going to try being as straightforward and honest as I can.
I would be, if I was a fan of this guy, I would be so confused, because I'm thinking like, oh, maybe this is like his family or somebody coming together for a video, and then like it's him. I'm like, wait a second, hold on, timeout, rewind, penalty on the play. Like, no, we gotta talk about this. You're not here right now, okay? Like, you're gone. How? Like, I'm not even a fan of this guy, but I'm kind of like still, like, I'm shocked. I'm in a mindset of his fan, and I'm like, I'm shocked. Like, well, wait a minute, time out here. What's going on?
I've been very sick and very busy for the past few months, spending every day either bedridden or going in and out of the hospital with,
like, you could, okay, then just say like, hey, I'm sick, so I won't be able to do videos, like, I'm quitting YouTube. That's it, that's all you had to say. But it's like, oh yeah, guys, I died. No, you don't do that. You just don't do that.
No time to play TF2 or make videos or anything like that. I don't want to reveal too much information about my illness, but the doctors are saying that I probably don't have a lot of time left. At best, I've got about a year.
Oh, is this like a...
gets so bad that I'll need...
Oh, I think this is like before. This had to have been recorded before.
My chances of recovery are looking low, to say the least. In light of my newfound understanding of the importance of time, I'm quitting video games and leaving YouTube.
Prior to uploading this video, Sketchek had racked up 12,000 subscribers.
So that was
his
before,
channel. And while
okay.
this didn't make him the biggest YouTuber on the platform, as mentioned previously, he was extremely well known within the Team Fortress 2 niche, specifically as a professional pyro player with over 8,000 hours of playtime across a 6-year period. In comments, he was referenced as God of all pyros, the best pyro in the world, and the only pyro main I could respect, which is why no one suspected anything in the beginning. He was respected, his channel was growing.
That game was pretty fun.
Out of the blue if he was one of the best in the world. Under the assumption that this life-threatening illness was real, the video would be shared to Reddit, receiving over 1,400 upvotes on a post titled "Sketchek is leaving YouTube from what is most probably a terminal illness," which was met with a high level of support from the community at large. Terminal illness is extremely saddening. I don't know how people deal with it. I mean, man, I wish Sketchek all the best. There's really a slim chance, but I really hope Sketchek can somehow recover. I think I cried a little. This is really sad news. I loved how creative he was in the game. Love you, Sketchek. Thank you for your videos. Others went even further by inquiring about a potential charity that they could donate to in order to support him financially. Always saddening to hear people suffering from terminal illness. I wish for the best for him and his family during this time. Does anyone know of a charity for his illness? I'd like to donate if there is. It should also be mentioned that the community was extra vulnerable to the announcement, as only 5 months earlier in January 2015, another TF2 YouTuber by the name of Kitty0706 had also passed away from cancer, highlighted in comments such as this one reading, "First it's Kitty, now it's this. WTF. I want to cure cancer so I can keep watching these people's videos." However, while most were incredibly supportive, the more cynical and, in retrospect, the wiser amongst those in the comment section seemed a little more skeptical about this illness that he was going on about. We'd have to know the illness first. As the audience was discussing the news with a mixed yet mostly positive response, his health continued to deteriorate, or so he claimed. It was a little suspicious that after the initial announcement stating that he didn't have much longer to live, he continued to upload TF2 videos as if nothing had ever happened. However, each video was pretty short in length and wouldn't have been super labor intensive to produce, so it was certainly possible.
Like, I don't know, like with me, I'd be guessing, like, you know, those would probably be like the last few videos he was working on, like, prior before he figured he was sick. But dang, man, like, that's wild.
Continued to make content whilst also being incredibly sick. The other thing that was notably bizarre was that shortly after announcing his illness, it became possible to support Sketchek's channel as long as you donated using yen, the Japanese currency. English was clearly his first language, spoken in a relatively strong Australian accent. Therefore, what was the deal with his support currency being in Japanese? Was he living there or something? At this point, it was insignificant, but later it would become a vital piece of information. However, equally vital was Sketchek's next announcement, being that he had become so sick he was unable to make videos or even play TF2 at all. The announcement would come in a video titled "Closure," uploaded 6 months after he'd first enlightened his audience about his terminal illness, this time discussing how much worse it had become.
Welp. This is it, folks. This is how it ends. I'm very ill. My health is gradually deteriorating.
I guess, like, knowing that he faked his death, like, you kind of already know, like, what's gonna happen in the title because of the title. But the way he's talking, like, I don't know, like, I guess, like, the first video I'd just be like, oh, he must have just found out. Then with this, it's all like, why do you sound like the way that you sound? Like, I don't know about this one, man. I don't know.
And the clock is ticking, so to speak. I simply cannot afford to spend any more time than I already have maintaining the channel. And this is my absolute final video to say goodbye before I stop using this account. So feel free to unsubscribe if you haven't already. There will be no more videos coming from this channel.
Wow.
Farewell.
Following this video, Sketchek's social media presence would cease entirely. There were no more uploads to his YouTube channel, no more tweets to his Twitter, and 0 additional hours played on his Team Fortress account. The silence continued for 2 years with absolutely no news, at which point the community would come to the consensus that Sketchek's deterioration and subsequent silence must have indicated that he had died. He released a PSA saying he had an almost certainly terminal illness, and that even if he survived, he would not resume making videos. That is to say, he almost certainly passed away.
Dang.
Tribute videos began to pop up on YouTube such as this one with over 60,000 views, titled Sketchak Wannabe, which began by stating in honor of Sketchak, whilst displaying a TF2 RIP gravestone in the thumbnail. The degree to which Sketchak had impacted the community was cemented even further when, in memory of Sketchak, the developers of Team Fortress 2 would add an attribute called Sketchak's Bequest to one of his signature weapons, immortalizing Sketchak within the game forever.
And they added in like a little memoriam to him, which I thought was really, really nice. I really like that.
At this point, Sketchak might have felt baffled that things had gone this far. Alternatively, maybe he was feeling smug about having gotten away with the crime, so to speak. However,
it's like, man, it's stuff like that. I know you had to feel bad about that, bro. Like, I know you had to, like, look at it and be like, dang, I really did this. Like, why? Like, why, man?
It would be with one Reddit comment in May 2017 that the community began to question whether or not Sketchak was actually dead. If you want a small conspiracy, a lot of Sketchak's items have left his backpack, ending up in another backpack owned by someone named Will, even some minuscule items like refined metal. Some of the names Will has had seem very Sketchak-y, and the account is relatively active, last online just over a day ago. The guy seems to have Sketchak's Napper's Respite in some gift wrap too, so maybe this guy was just a friend of Sketchak's. Hard to say, really. While it was certainly bizarre that items were being traded out of Sketchak's Team Fortress account, it wasn't really a smoking gun that screamed, hey, this dude isn't really dead, as Sketchak might have simply given his password to a friend.
So, like, it's like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't thinking, like, you know, that there's websites or there's way to know that. I don't know. Like, I never really played this Team Fortress. I think that was Team Fortress 2. I never really played this that much. I just remember playing it like years ago. I think when I very first got into like PC gaming. And I don't know of any of that stuff. Like, I know you can check like stats and things of like your the character that you're playing as in a video game, but not like you can check to see where like transferred material or weapons or whatever, like how like it went to another person. So that's crazy.
For quitting, who is now trading the items, considering some time had passed since his apparent death. However, it wasn't only the items on Sketchak's Team Fortress account, indicating that maybe he wasn't dead. Further evidence will come to light in a forum post which read, Sketchak's illness video set to private, which explained that out of the blue, the two videos in which Sketchak will discuss his sickness were unlisted from his channel entirely. Previously, it wasn't impossible to theorize that someone else was tampering with his TF2 account. However, when activity was also spotted on his YouTube account, the pattern suggested that maybe Sketchak himself wasn't really buried 6 foot deep, which will be supported further in January 2019 when a video would pop up on YouTube titled with 2 words that would shatter every single past assumption about what had happened to the legend. Sketchak confirmed. In this video, a player can be seen toward the top of the leaderboard by the name of Sketchak with the same profile picture as the original. After being killed by Sketchak, the uploader of the video, Bucci, would find himself involved in a message exchange with his friend reading, dude, it's him, bro, it's him, to which the friend would type, okay, record, he wouldn't dare, before Bucci would respond once again with, I'll try, I'm recording. In light of this video, out of curiosity, players began to add Sketchak's account on Steam, which is where things took a little bit of a bizarre turn. Those who added his Steam account began to receive this cryptic message, which led to a video on Sketchak's channel titled TXT. In the tags of this TXT video, there was a link which led to a now privated video with more cryptic Japanese text, translating to Mr. Frog only knows frog language. Sketchak would then send more gifts to those who added him on Steam, the next one relating to a Twitter account, once again named in Japanese text, translating to the frog with the banana peel, as displayed in the original Sketchak profile picture. The Twitter account would then post a tweet stating that his audience needed to unfreeze the watermelon, then everything will be understood, which was accompanied by a JPEG image of a frozen thawing watermelon. Users then realized that by pasting the JPEG of the watermelon into WinRAR, that it would create a demo file, leading to a website with nothing but the signature Sketchak frog and an empty text box which required a password. Upon entering the password, a pastebin link would appear, leading to a string of binary text, which when decoded, would lead to an unlisted video stating that Sketchak was about to return to YouTube. As the Team Fortress community began to discuss his return, Sketchak would log back into his original Twitter account before making a post reading, kept you waiting, huh? Followed by a video on YouTube 2 days later, explaining that he was never sick in the first place.
About 3 years ago, I announced that I had contracted a non-specific terminal illness. I want everyone to know that was a lie. It was a sick joke. It was a ruse. I was never ill, not even a little bit.
He'd then gone to explain the motive behind faking his own death.
I was in Japan for an extended period of time. When I was in Japan, I had a really good time, and somewhere along the way, I came to the conclusion that video games had ruined my life, and that was when I decided to shut down the channel. But I also...
Okay, so like, just my thing is this. how do you think it would have went if you would have just came out and said, hey guys, like, I went on this trip? Because I'm saying, like, fam, you will see, like, that one, okay, I'm going to mention one YouTuber that I've seen that he doesn't really play video games. Not that I've seen, like, compared to, like, back in the day when I very first started subscribed to him, it seemed like he's, like, doing other things more than playing video games. I'll get into who that YouTuber is, but you could have very well just came out in the video and said, hey, took this trip in Japan, overall came to the conclusion that I just don't really see myself as playing video games anymore, and overall not being a content creator. So this will probably be my last video on YouTube. Okay, I'm done. Boom, good. You are set. Like, you are, and people ask questions about it, it's just like, just respect my wishes, just respect my, you know, what I want to do and things. I don't want to play video games anymore. I'm done with it. Then you just move on. And it's like, if you come back and it's like, all right, so I thought I was done with video. Because I'm saying, it's like, sit down and think about the two outcomes, right? You say that you're done playing, or you say that you have this terminal illness, you fake your death, you come back saying, oh, I'm back, guys. I didn't really die. I lied about all that stuff. Versus you say that you're done playing a video game, you come back years later and you're all like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna play this, start playing this video game again, or playing other video games or whatever. Which route are you gonna go down? I think we all know the obvious route and stuff, but no, then the YouTuber that I took notice of, like, I don't really see him playing video games like that anymore. And there's the one video game that just, it seemed like it really, like, skyrocketed and lunged his career, but KSI. Now, I don't know, I have to, like, go and check to see, but as far as I see, it's like fam is out here living his life, you know, with music. What are some other things? Like, I mean, he's doing the boxing stuff, and he's, like, doing all these other things, but he's just not really, versus, like, okay, like, I'm just gonna leave silently and just get into music, or get into something else, or just tell people, hey, I'm done playing this game, and I'm just gonna get into music. Like, fam, like, which route would you rather go down? Like, it's crazy to think that people think like that, and it's like, it's weird, man.
I wanted to go out with a bang, I guess you could say. And then I came up with the idea of faking my death, because I knew that would draw a lot of attention.
Before
That's
coming to
crazy.
the inevitable conclusion 3 and a bit years later that he wanted to continue making videos on TF2.
A couple of weeks ago, I was playing TF2, just thinking about some stuff, and I decided I wanted to come back to the channel and reveal the truth to everyone.
And while this objectively marks SketchX's return, whether or not it was welcomed with open arms,
No,
is
like,
question. I feel kind of half and half on this situation. I love SketchX for what he did for me as a pyro main, but lying about terminal illness,
yeah,
isn't
it's
cool.
like,
Happy to see him back, but honestly a shitty thing to do. Videos were also uploaded to YouTube addressing this ethical problem of, well, he's one of the best in the game and he seems genuinely sorry, but does this excuse him blatantly faking his death for attention?
It's a sick joke, of course, but it's one that he's probably had monetary gain from, even if it's just a few $100s, you know. And still, for me, that just makes the whole thing feel a bit more awkward and uncomfortable for me, in terms of, like, dismissing it as a big old joke.
The more forgiving among SketchX's audience were simply looking forward to some new content, and comments such as, hey, welcome back and hope you got some sick content ready. Hope all the negativity in this thread won't sour your return. However, others went to the effort of writing full-blown paragraphs.
yeah, it's like, because there's people out there that really be like, so, and it's like, then on top of that, it's like, there's another person in that community that had passed away, and it's like that not too long later. Here's my opinion on it. Now, I would imagine that okay, like, you know, all right, just talking on him, like, because I was about to say, if I did some stuff like, but it ain't even about me, but it's like, in my opinion, there are people out there that are terminally sick, they have no control over it, and if they used to watch you, and then, you know, let's say for an example, like, they're terminally sick now, and then they see that you came back, and then you lied about it, and it's like, fam, they're going through it. Like, I would imagine, like, if that was the other way around, like, you would have a way that you will feel a certain way about that, you know? You ain't gonna just be like, oh, whatever. Like, that's messed up, bro. Like, I don't get the whole concept of that. Like, I don't get what was the whole, like, because I'm saying you very well could have, like, left in any way besides faking your death. So, yeah, it's things like that where I don't get it. Like, if there wasn't no legitimate reason for it, then I'm not understanding it.
SketchX was in the wrong, one of which referencing the weapon within TF2, which had been named as a tribute to the legendary Pyro main. SketchX bequest, lose all community respect for lying to us all. I hope they change the extinguisher soon. I'm so disappointed. I can't be angry, but I'm unbelievably disappointed. I'm glad you decided to come clean and you're going to be hated, but it takes guts to admit you're wrong. Still, extremely disappointed. Petitions were also created on the Steam forum such as this one, and subsequently the SketchX bequest attribute was removed silently in the month that followed. In spite of all the hate, SketchX viewership was luckily supported by his skill as a Pyro player, as opposed to what you might call his ethical compass, and therefore upon returning, his videos would surprisingly receive as many if not more views as when he disappeared almost 4 years prior. While almost all of these fake social media stunts generally damage the career of whichever influencer is in question, SketchX somehow managed to do the opposite.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Mini Lad. Yeah, I remember the whole Mini Lad situation, but yeah, I don't get that, man. I just don't get it. It's like, if you're gonna leave, leave, but if you're gonna do like some weird stuff, like when leaving, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But anyways, yeah, guys, make sure y'all go subscribe to SunnyV2 for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.